morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Hammonds, hoping that you're doing well this morning on a rainy, in fact, 80% chances of rain today, and the temperature is going to stay about the same. It will get colder by Friday night. If you're out in it Friday night and Saturday, it's going to get cold, so prepare for that part of it, and of course, winter time's got to come sometimes, and it's probably better even to me when it's at a football game. I love cold weather at a football game. Of course, the elections are over, and the winners are in our area from Judge Allen wins the election and the Senate race, and Roby wins her race in the district House of Representatives, and then of course Kay Ivey wins the governor's race in Pike County and across the state of Alabama. So the big winners are Wes Allen, Martha Roby, and Kay Ivey, and of course good races, strong races, good turnout on both sides, it looked like to me. And those of you that ran for office, congratulations. You did your civic duty, or you got to have courage to run for an election. And those of you that ran, again, congratulations on making your efforts known. Mike, good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Mike Hammonds calling in from Birmingham. Wes Allen wins. Martha Roby wins. You know Martha Roby, don't you?
Yeah, I knew her back in college. One of my best friends kind of dated her a little bit.
Yeah. And Kay Ivey, I know Kay Ivey. In fact, I worked with Kay Ivey.
Actually, I hung out at Montgomery Jubilee with her a few times.
Yeah. Kay Ivey winning the governor's race, and gosh, years ago.
The first, I guess, woman to win governor of the state of Alabama on the Republican ticket, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a yellow man today. I might have to make a change at halftime with my jerseys because I'm all yellow. I have a yellow sweater with white shirt on. not much to do with those colors.
I thought Walt Maddox would give her a little bit of run tonight. I lived in Tuscaloosa during the tornadoes when I was working at the University of Alabama, and of course he did a lot of great things to improve Tuscaloosa after that. But you can't win the governor of Alabama when you can't even win Tuscaloosa County. He lost Tuscaloosa County.
Oh, boy, that does tell you a lot right there. No question about it. Of course, the District 89 seat of long-time Representative Alan Booth, Mike, he held that position for quite a while, and now it will be taken over by Judge Wes Allen. Alan Booth and Wes Allen, and congratulations to you. Allen won by 5,808 to 4,579. I thought Joel Williams ran him a pretty good race, didn't you think?
Yeah, Joel didn't really campaign that much.
No, he didn't.
I saw a few signs throughout town when I was in Troy.
No, he didn't campaign
there.
Career
politician, and been in a lot of different, races, and of course he barely got beat last time, I believe. And I guess he just felt like he needed to run against Wes. He wanted somebody to run against him.
Well, he's a Democrat, and he wanted the Democrat Party to be represented.
Comes on a lot, does a lot with the art council.
He's a good man. I've known Joel Williams all his life. I know his mama. I know where he comes from. He's a good man.
I'll say this: when Johnny Williams brought Wes Allen to work at Troy University years ago, Wes has made a career and has really established a great fan base, and a lot of people love him in Troy and Pike County. So
no question about it.
Good job being a part of the community.
No question about it, and
his dad won big up in Tuscaloosa last night too, so they had a big night for their family.
Well, I know that was exciting for both of them. I want to say, now I could be wrong here, that they're the only two father-son legislators. What do you think?
I'm not sure. Somebody that would know that would be Steve Flowers. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama last night, and I'm flipping on CBS at the Steve Flowers show. He's live coverage on CBS 42, and he said that if Mickey Mouse would have ran as a Republican or Donald Duck would have ran as a Republican last night for governor in the state of Alabama, they would have won.
All right.
He said all the big offices are going to go Republican in the state of Alabama.
Well, it is a Republican state, no question about it. And,
the only upset up here last night was Mike Hale, who'd been the sheriff up here for 20 years, got beat by a Democrat. That was kind of surprising.
I'm sure. And, of course, Roby wins again, no real opposition of sort. And then, of course, Kay Ivey, like you said, wins in a big way over the mayor of Tuscaloosa.
I think it's like 60% to 40%.
That probably embarrasses him a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, I would imagine that dropped him down quite a bit. It's one of those situations where I think he thought that he would put up better numbers than that. But, Ivy, came in to replace Bentley and, has not really missed a beat. She's done pretty well.
No question about it. And you're exactly right. And
she's got to be close to 70 years old, isn't she?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, she's over 70. She's 75, 74, 75. I knew her years ago when Bob James became governor. He brought her in. She's a Bob James person and strong Republican.
I know she's an Auburn grad.
Big Auburn fan. And also she, a lot of people don't realize this, and I do because she used to come on my show every year with the girls group.
Yes.
What? Girls State.
Yes, or Girls State.
Girls State, and she ran Girls State for a long time. So she's been very active over the years. Mike, Troy's got a redshirt freshman. I don't know if you noticed him. He's a blonde-headed kid, Kyler Nunson, big, tall kid.
We talked about him yesterday.
I know it, but this kid's come out of nowhere, hasn't he?
Well, apparently he's a junior. He came to Troy as a wide receiver. And they had too much, depth at wide receiver. They asked if he'd move to defense, and shoot, next thing you know, he's playing for Ruckert and making 7 tackles, making a huge interception. And apparently after the game in the locker room, Coach Brown offered him a full scholarship, and it made national headlines on ESPN.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll read it to you. None along with...
Kay Ivey is 74 years old, and she was born in Camden, Alabama.
That's right. She's from Camden, no question. And, of course, they gave him a scholarship after the game.
His parents were crying.
He played at North Gwinnett High School in Atlanta, and he spent his entire high school playing wide receiver. And they moved him to strong safety. I tell you what he does. You've heard of people talk about length or talk about range. Well, at 6'4", he's got a lot of range, and he can break on the ball and make a play. But it's going to be a heck of a game this weekend.
Really got a lot of injuries this year, and they've had to, have a lot of guys kind of come out of nowhere to help this team out. And, that's what I was thinking about the other day. They're 7-2, and this is, another huge game. They ran into this 2 years ago at Georgia Southern. Of course, they got beat. But it seems like every time we're playing Georgia Southern, we got a lot on the line these last 3 years.
No question about it, and it's going to be a tough one. And I hope they're ready to defend the wishbone. And did this kid throw very much? You watched him more than I have. Did he throw very well?
He doesn't throw much at all. He throws maybe 2 or 3 passes a game.
Oh, man. So they can put 8 in the box then. Is that right?
Well, you just got to – it's all about eye discipline. I watch the press conference every Monday that Dale Brown has. Then the players have a press conference after that. And, it's just about eye discipline and Coach Koenig calling the plays and making sure everybody's got the plays and making the right adjustments at the line of scrimmage.
No question about it.
It's not easy to play a team like this a week to prepare. It'd be a lot easier to play a team like this to start the season or in a bowl game.
No question about it. Want to mention also Troy basketball last night beat Fort Valley State.
Go up there?
Yeah, I did. Troy won 95-60. Of course, Alex Hicks was real good, had 19 points, and then that's sophomore that's going to be so good, Javon Johnson, added 18, and Zay Williams had 10.
I saw where the Johnson kid was 5 from 6 from 3-point line. That's really good.
He really played well, and
Coach Fletcher, when he came on the show the other day, mentioned that he was going to be a really big-time player.
Well, I tell you what, he's 6'7" guard. That's the kind of guy the NBA likes, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Was there any kind of crowd up there? I know it's free admission.
Pretty good crowd. I would say a couple of thousand probably were there. And, it was, they play next Thursday against Southern Miss, which we should have a huge crowd for that game. Southern Miss has got one of their better teams, and this should be a big one for Troy. The women, though...
the women dropped their season over at
they got beat bad. They got beat by 30. And, and of course, this is supposed to be one of the better Troy teams. Evidently there's a big difference in big-time women's basketball and mid-level. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, out of all the sports out there, especially the women's sports, it seems like the smaller, conference schools, non-Power 5, don't really have a chance against the big boys most of the time, or the big girls most of the time. Yeah, Troy got beat by 36 points.
That's not a good way to start the season either, is it?
Well, you got to give Coach Rigby credit. She drove 2.5 hours down the road and played good competition. She could have played Fort Valley State.
Yeah. Want to mention Piggly Wiggly, ladies and gentlemen, located on North 39th Street in Troy. It's got some great sales going on. How about this now, Mike? Find it anywhere else. USDA Select T-bone steaks, $3.99 a pound. Fresh fried drumsticks or thighs, 65 cents a pound. That's a good buy. Fresh ground beef, $1.69 a pound. Springer whole fryers, $1.09. Now everybody's going to your house. It looks like for down at the beach for Thanksgiving. What are you going to serve? That's what I want to know. That was the first thing when they told me that you wanted to do it at your place at the beach. I told your mama that, hey, what is he going to serve?
Well, I imagine in Creighton Beach, we'll have my wife, who's a great cook, and we'll have your son-in-law, who's a great cook. I'm sure they'll have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and how about my son?
My son. Our favorite restaurant, Sisters, will have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get the...
We will definitely... dressing, I like a lot of stuff.
That's exactly right. We'll get the squash casserole.
And I'm sure there'll be some other places that will provide some desserts as well.
And definitely...
I'll say this: I'll go to the reservoir and try to get us one of those key lime pies. That's one of the best things ever.
That's the best key lime pie I've ever had. No question about it.
You know how you lose the basketball game, the women's basketball game against Florida State? They shot 28%.
Oh man.
21% from three, and they had 23 turnovers, and they were out rebounded by 20. So that's how you lose the basketball game by 36.
Yeah, it's amazing they didn't lose it by more than that. Let me finish my Piggly Wiggly. I had fresh bone-in assorted cut pork chops, just $1.39 a pound. Piggly Wiggly frozen whole turkeys, 79 cents a pound. And they'll cook them for you at the pig. For Jumbo Franks, 98 cents for a package. And how about this? Anytime you can get bacon this price, ladies and gentlemen. Sunnyland sliced bacon, 2 12-ounce containers for $5. You want to get them. So we appreciate all the folks at Piggly Wiggly, and I'll go by and say, hey, cut me up some of those T-bone family packs, and they are delicious, no question about it. And Miss,
that Troy baseball swept fall exhibitions. They played 12 innings against Alabama State, beat them on Friday night, and then they swept Auburn Montgomery in 2 7-inning games Sunday afternoon at Riddle Pace Field. So you kind of forget they play this winter ball.
That's right.
College baseball.
Yeah, well, up until this year, they wouldn't allow them to play an exhibition game, the Division Ones, but they do now, and I think it's good.
No, I think it's great.
And, of course, I want to mention also, Mike, want to go ahead and put my order in for my Italian cream. Miss Lee, I want to go ahead and put my for Thanksgiving and Christmas. the Italian cream cake. I want it for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Don't you agree, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to make sure I have plenty of eggnog down there, too.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, I noticed that eggnog's all over the shelf. Of course, it's Christmas everywhere but my house, I tell you.
We were driving to Athens, Georgia the other day, and we hit 3 different radio stations that were playing all Christmas.
Yeah, I love it. And Christmas music is being played right now. There's no question about it.
Is it too soon? Not for you.
No. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Aren't you glad that's a fact? Hey, what would Christmas at your house be without your old man handing out checks?
My old man? Yeah, that always is a lot of fun.
Yeah, they all get, like I always remember for so many years, and I was one of them that would line up in line, and Roy Crow would be sitting in the living room in his big chair, and everybody be lined up to pick up a check, including all the grandchildren. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I always remember that.
But I mean, it was
Roy Crow gives in 2018 as well. He keeps on and keeps on giving.
Oh yeah.
I had a great granddad. I was very blessed.
You were, no question about it. Pike Tree Service.
Buffalo University, they went to 9-1 last night. Their 6'7" quarterback put on another show.
How did he do? How bad they win?
He did well, but it was like the wind and the cold. You would not believe how cold and windy that game was.
Did it snow?
No, they won 48-14 over Saban's alma mater, Kent State last
night.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you a sad story. I'm going to Georgia Southern this weekend, and the temperature could stay in the 50s.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
That's football weather, man. That's what you want.
Exactly. Especially when they run in the wishbone, isn't that right?
I think the Tuscaloosa, the high, I think it's 53. So finally, we got some cold weather for football. I love it.
So you got 2 back-to-back good games. You got Mississippi State, and you got Alabama, Auburn. What are you going to do with those others?
We got to figure out Saturday morning if we want to get up real early and drive to Tuscaloosa.
Or sell them and make a little money. How about that?
Yeah, we could try that. I don't know. If Auburn beats Georgia, you'd have more Auburn fans interested as well.
The kid last night for Buffalo was 6'7", and has just turned their program around.
Yeah, college basketball started last night, and some of the big blue bloods played last night. Duke was absolutely destroying Kentucky when I went to bed. I don't know what the final score was, but they were up by almost 20 at the half.
Oh, really? Isn't that something? Auburn AD says Malzahn will stay. Coach is 9 games into a 7-year contract worth $49 million. You think when he was at Springville High School in Arkansas, he'd ever dreamed that he'd made that kind of money?
No, I don't think there's any way in the world. Man, listen to this last night. Duke beat Kentucky and all those 5 stars. I kind of love this, actually. 118-84.
Oh, man, they got killed, didn't they?
Calipari last night by 34 points on national TV.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, Alabama
won last night. The kid from Luverne put on the show. Dante Hall had 20 points.
And, when he first went to Alabama, we're talking about Dante Hall from Luverne, he was considered just a rebounding shot blocker, but he's developed some offensive skills that's going to make him a bunch of money one day, don't you think? He's 7 feet, isn't he?
I think he'll definitely play the next level. He's 6'9".
Well, anytime they're over 6'9", Mike, anytime a kid's over 6'9", you call him a 7-footer. All he has to do is stretch. All he has to do is stretch a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham.
Last night they destroyed South Alabama. They won by almost, I think, 40 or 50 last night.
That boy over at Sun Belt team. Mike, Auburn's for real, aren't they? They're loaded, aren't they?
Yeah, well, Auburn's ranked the lowest in the country.
Yeah. Neither were good.
Yeah, Auburn won by 43.
I tell you, I think Alabama's going to have a little bit tougher time than other teams if they can establish the running game and keep control the clock. As everybody talks about how you beat Alabama. Well, one thing is you keep the ball away from them. Don't you agree?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely, you kind of shorten the game as well. I mean, I think LSU was trying to do.
And now let me tell you, you kept saying all this time that Fitzgerald can't throw. Well, I tell you what, he's been able to throw the last 2 games.
Yeah, and look at what they've done. You know, the numbers are a lot better. And it's made him a lot more, you know, less one-dimensional. The biggest thing, though, I think in this game is, you know, Fitzgerald against Alabama never really plays well. He played pretty good last year when they took him down to the wire, but other than that, he's been pretty awful. I just think he'll throw at least 2 or 3 interceptions.
Finishing this article on Malzahn going into his 7th year of a $49 million contract, and he's the guy that eats up at the Waffle House after every game. 75% of that 49. This is really what gets me. 75% of the $49 million, $32.1 million is guaranteed. Does that mean if he just walked in the AD's office this morning and say, I quit, would he still get $32 million? That
would be his buyout.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, that is his buyout. It's December 1st, 2018.
Alan Green came out and announced that yesterday. I mean, I guess he's just trying to give him a vote of confidence and let Auburn fans, you know, rally around this coaching staff and this team, and hopefully they'll go to Athens and pull up a huge upset.
This is hard. I tell you, you
can't feel sorry for any of these coaches. I mean,
he makes $6.7 million a year.
I mean, it's all because of Saban. Saban is the reason all these coaches
exactly.
skyrocketed.
And
everybody's trying to keep up with what Alabama's doing, and some of these guys are losing 4 or 5 games a year, like Malzahn has for the last 4, and making $7 million a year. It's insane. They ought to go up to Saban every time they see him before game or after game and get on their hands and kiss his hand.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Ladies and gentlemen, he makes $6.7 million a year. And I'm trying to figure that out over a month's time, Mike. That's let's see.
Too much to count.
Yeah, $6.7 million. And
I'm sure Neil Brown's sitting back there, and I guess Neil's probably making about $800,000, maybe a little bit more. And Bill Clark makes, I think, $960,000 at UAB, and I'm sure they're sitting back there saying, you know, how can we not take a big time job and make this kind of money? I mean, this is life changing money.
Exactly, no question about it. And I'm thinking that he's making probably around $700,000 a month. Is that right? Around $700,000 a month. Let's see, not quite that much.
12 months in a year.
About $650,000 a month, something like that. It's a pretty good paycheck, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh man, just think that his salary is worth some schools' total budget. Per month. Can you believe that? Paying a football coach that long. And I've said over and over again over the years, and you say, oh, you're going to say it again. I will. If they had a freeze or a stopping point, say like $200,000 a year, they'd be lined up all the way across the street, almost up to Huey's filling station up here for the job. You know what I'm saying?
The big thing, too, at Auburn, where Malzahn and athletic director are really trying to move the Georgia series. They don't like the fact that Auburn has to play the
back-to-back
on the road in the same season.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get that game moved to where they don't have to play 2 great teams with the last 3 games, which is understandable, but, I mean, it's what they've been doing their whole lives at Auburn. It seems like they'd be used to it by now.
Yeah, no question. High school basketball has started. Pike Liberal opens up with a winner, and I know they're glad to get going. And, of course, we got the playoffs coming up, and I'll be giving you some rundown of some of the high school playoffs that we're looking forward to. And, of course, this is what they call the second season, Mike. And you know, all right, take Charles Simpson. They're 3-6, and they're in the playoffs. Well, you know what? For those kids, even though they play the second-ranked team in the state in Ramsey High School of Birmingham, it does give them an opportunity to start all over with their season. What do you think?
Yeah, but you know, in high school, you just don't ever see a team that was last in their area beat a one seed. I've never seen it.
Well, I don't know. I haven't kept up with that total. I know this, that the team they're playing, Ramsey, is...
I mean, there's a reason that team's, you know, ranked second in the state, 9-1.
Oh, yeah.
Only thing about it, I mean, is as a coach, I guess you can just say you made the playoffs.
Yeah.
If that helps you, you know, I guess that's the only good thing about it.
Looking at the high school playoffs, Central Phoenix City is the only undefeated team in Class 7A, the big schools. I know Fairhope's playing at Auburn 9-1. Mountain Brook's going to Austin, Decatur. I bet they'll lose that game, Mike. Bob Jones playing at Hoover. Hoover's 7-3. Do you still think this Hoover team can win it all?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Hoover's, you know, only lost one game. They played the best team in the country out of Baltimore, Maryland, who you know, beat them really bad, and then they got beat by Hewitt-Trussville. That's the only team from the state of Alabama that beat them, and then they lost to IMG 48-7. So I mean, Hoover's still Hoover. They're going to play probably for the state championship.
All right, I don't know who Central Phoenix City's quarterback is. Somebody told me he's already.
I think he signed with LSU.
Yeah, signed with LSU. Thompson of Alabaster's quarterback has committed to Alabama, but you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if LSU didn't end up getting him.
No, his brother is the absolute legend of all legends at Alabama, and his family lives in Alabaster. There's no way he's going to.
Well, he could turn LSU's program completely around.
Well, I think LSU's going to get up, you know, some decent quarterbacks. I think the kid out of Phoenix City is real good, but I think it's just one of those things where, I mean, that Tagovailoa name now in Alabama is legendary. I don't see how his brother went.
All right, I'm not familiar with Auburn's quarterback. I'm not familiar with Hoover's quarterback. Is he good?
Apparently, he's a great baseball player first, but he plays football.
What's his name?
I can't think of it.
Okay, McGill Tulin, I'm sure, has got a good one. Now, Hewitt-Trussville had Bear Bryant's great-grandson as the quarterback.
I mean, just in that area, you got Hewitt-Trussville's got Paul Tyson, and then you got Tua's brother, Tagovailoa at Alabaster, and then the top quarterback going to Auburn is Bo Nix at Pinson Valley.
Yeah. Is Pinson Valley not in 7A? They're in 6A, aren't they?
They're in 6A, yeah.
Yeah, number one.
They won the state championship last year, went undefeated.
And, of course, the team they've got to play is Spanish Fort, and I'm sure they've got to.
I remember when Jamie DeBose left Prattville, I guess he took the Florence job for just a ton of money.
Yeah, I remember that.
I guess he went up there and went to Florence, you know, to make a lot of money, and didn't really do great up there, and then came to Charles Henderson for the spring because him and the Superintendent Hicks were longtime buddies from their Prattville days, and you know,
but he stayed 3 weeks or a month, or how long did he stay?
And then within that time, got the job at Central Phoenix City, a big 7A school, which, I mean, you can't blame him for leaving Charles Henderson. I think at the time, Charles Henderson was still 4A, about to go back to 5A.
Yeah. Mike, I want to compliment our Wilkes, our superintendent over there. He was named Superintendent of the Year last week, Mike.
Yeah, Randy Wilkes.
Randy Wilkes, former Goshen High and Charles Henderson and Troy University football player, was named Superintendent of the Year. And, of course, he does a great job, no question about it. That's Sammy Card's son-in-law, Mike.
Yeah, that's Coach Will's coach when I was at Charles Henderson.
Mountain Brook is quarterbacked by a young man who I know a little bit about. Al Gibbs is a grandson, and Big Al, who was mayor of the city of Troy for several years, that's his great-grandson. His name his father's name is Strother Gibbs, and he is a quarterback at Mountain Brook. I want to say he's just a sophomore. Is that right?
I think so. When was Al Gibbs the mayor of Troy?
Oh, when we used to have three mayor council type government. We had James Ray and Al Gibbs and Mr. Kelly, Winfred Kelly. You know, those were the three.
And they all held office Was it?
Yeah. What they did, they didn't hold it at the same time. They swapped.
There was no city councilman back then.
Yeah, it was a city council, but it was a city councilman type mayor situation. The city council each quarter one of them would be mayor.
So the role Steve Flowers had in working for the state in government, is that the same thing Wes just won? What was Steve Flowers in Alabama?
No, he was just that's right. Wes just won. He was a member of the legislature.
So that's what Steve Flowers did. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Steve on television up here, I was talking about how he was on last night. He's got that great Southern voice. I mean, he is great at what he does.
Oh yeah, he's one of the very best.
But
if you're around him like I've been around him for so many years, he says the same thing over again.
It was almost like he took over the role for Bob Ingram.
He did, and Bob Ingram was one of his heroes. I'll get Steve to come on the show and talk a little bit about it. But Steve Flowers has been a politician ever since he was 8 years old. When he was a page, I'm going to start talking like him in a minute because he talks like Governor Wallace, or tries to, and does a pretty good job. But when he was a page under Garner Bassett, and they used to ride the Montgomery Garner Bassett, they said Garner Bassett drove over 100 miles an hour, Mike. Never worried about a ticket. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Mike, this is Max. How are you this morning?
Max Howell calling in this morning, and good to hear from you, my friend. What's going on?
Well, it's midweek, and we're getting close to the end of the football season, Mike. I'm kind of getting worried what I'm going to do after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Max, going to put you on hold a second. Be right with you. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing? Is that you, Max?
You got me again.
All right, Mike, we're going to bring you in here with Max. Let me see here. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to go there and there. Are you on, Max?
I'm right here, yes.
All right, I'm bringing Mike Amos on, and then we'll be ready. Well, I missed it. Well, there we go. I got you. Is that right? Who do I have right now? All right. Good morning. You on Today in L.A. How you doing? Max, how you doing? Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi this morning. And how's everything? How's the weather up there? You're a little north of us. I bet it's starting to get cool, isn't it?
Oh, listen, 31 this Saturday morning. Coming up.
Going to be 31 degrees this Saturday morning when Mississippi State and Alabama go at it. Is that right?
To go, yeah, it's going to be pretty chilly, Mike. It's going to rain today and tomorrow, and of course that front's coming through, and after that it's going to be cold and clear.
Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Hey, this time of year, absolutely.
Max Howell, noted football and sports analyst, and of course has his own radio station now over in Fulton, Mississippi, and how are things going with your station?
Mike, it's going great. I can't tell you, all the things we've got going. We put that station in a brand new grocery store. They had their grand opening on Friday. You could not get down the aisles. There were so many people there.
Isn't that wonderful?
It was just fantastic. We got a big tailgate party coming up Saturday morning. We'll be all over Northeast Mississippi.
Of course, you're actually out of Tupelo. Is that right? That's where your office is?
Yeah, the license is in Sherman and Tupelo, which is about 10 miles up the road.
Exactly.
We're covering everything. Sports talk from Memphis to Birmingham, that's us. That's where we're going to be.
Well, that is wonderful. And, of course, Max got his start right here in Troy playing football for the Red Wave. And then he went into coaching, and he coached a couple of pretty good players. Did you ever tell Emmett to shut up and let you tell him what to do, or big time over at Florida State? Did y'all get along well?
Oh, listen, man, I got along well with all of them. You look, the great ones, Mike, you just tell them what time practice starts, and you show up.
Yeah, I can hear this right now. Max Howell calling big time, and of course, big time. You coached him for how many years?
I coached him at 2 years. I coached Deion Sanders too.
Yeah. I can see him right now calling Deion Sanders. Said, Deion, this is Max Howell. Max Howell, you remember, Deion, you remember when I coached you at Florida State? You know, I used to make you run wind sprints and stadium steps.
Yeah, those guys.
Or monkey crawl. Let me just say this. I'll run monkeys, I'll run stadium steps, and I'll do some other things, but don't make me do bear crawls. Boy, that's the worst in the world, is a bear crawl.
That was one of my jobs. I had the early morning,
You had those guys that were late for meetings and missed curfew.
The rule breakers met me at 5 o'clock to run stadiums every morning. And I will tell you this, Deion never had to do that. Never.
Isn't that amazing?
He was the first one at the meeting, sit on the front row every day. He was the first to practice and the last to leave.
Well, you know who saw that more than anybody were the pro scouts.
Right.
That's why they want to see, because hey, it's business with them.
Listen, let me tell you, Mike, I was around some really good ones in my career, you know that, but the great ones always had that attitude. That's why they were there.
Yeah.
That's why they were great. They had talent, but they tried to improve themselves, and it was the same way. Those guys never took anything for granted. They were always looking for an edge somewhere to do a little bit where Deion, if we had him in man coverage or whatever, or if it was him pitching to him on a corner, whatever it was, they're always looking for a little edge. I've known that attitude. Look, Emmitt Smith won Dancing with the Stars on national television.
Yeah.
Now, what does that tell you about a guy?
And our guy got beat this week, and but he gave quite an effort.
Yep. Well, you go back and look, Mike. That's what I can. My reflections now back on my career is just absolutely fantastic. If I never worked another day, I got a lifetime of memories to live on. I really do.
There's no question about it. And of course, we're around some of the great ones. Why would you? Of course, you said that those two great ones, Emmitt Smith and Big Time. I keep calling him Big Time, but Deion Sanders were two of the greatest athletes probably ever to live. And do you leave them alone, or are they hard to motivate, or what?
Oh no, they were self-motivated, Mike. They really were. They came to work every day. They knew at an early age that that destiny was written all over them.
Well, you know,
they could go.
Yeah.
They knew that they knew that in the right circumstances they would be at the top, and certainly they were.
Exactly right. Of course, Max went on from there. Of course, coached at Florida State, coached at Ole Miss. You coached at some Ole Miss teams under Billy Brewer that you sort of innovated, and I don't know if that's the right word, the junior college recruiting in the country. Everybody didn't swarm in there until you got over there. You started. What was the most you ever brought to Ole Miss in a year? Junior college players.
In 2 years of recruiting career, I brought 11 in 2 years, Mike.
Well, I knew
9 of them went to the NFL.
And you sent one to us, and he's a future Hall of Famer. You remember that defensive back you sent to us?
Man, listen, Mike. I was fortunate enough to do that.
He played in the pro 7 or 8 years. He's a defensive back. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah,
but somebody told me you sent him to us.
Yeah. I worked at junior colleges, and that was what's so ironic. Billy Brewer was born and raised in Mississippi.
Played quarterback. He was a star quarterback at Ole Miss. I remember that.
Right. Yeah, went to the Washington Redskins, played a couple of years, came back, but he never recruited the junior college kids.
Yeah.
He came out of that old school with Johnny Balt and them, where they just took the best high school kids in the state and kept them for 4 years.
Yeah.
See, I came from Florida State, and we were fortunate enough that we could cherry pick around the country, but we always picked up 1, 2, or 3 junior college kids that kind of filled in the slots for us. Well, Ole Miss needed a lot of slots filled at that time, so I just worked the junior college system, as good as anybody has, I think.
Coach Ball had some great teams at Ole Miss, and they didn't play Alabama. Ole Miss wasn't on Alabama's schedule for a long time. You remember that?
Oh, I think that was between Johnny.
And there were some real good Ole Miss teams.
Yeah, they were. Well,
one of them had a quarterback named Jake Gibbs. You remember that name?
Oh, do I?
And he was a former head. Was he ever the head coach, or was he just assistant?
No, he was a baseball coach.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember, he played for the Yankees for
Yeah,
about
that's right.
15
Came to
years.
the Yankees.
I mean, he was a heck of an athlete.
They had a shortstop named Donnie Kessinger. You remember him?
Yeah, Donnie Follett, Jay.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. That Robin Egg helmet, they don't need to ever get rid of that. That was one of the great helmets of all time. And every week I see them with a different one on, you know.
Well, you know, they always look.
Ole Miss changes their uniforms worse than anybody almost.
Mike, let me tell you, let Oregon set that, set the,
Oh, yeah, sure.
you know, they in Maryland, I mean, they go with the wildest thing you ever. But I've been told it's because of motivation. The kids want to do it.
I was telling people that when they played Oregon, that once they finished throwing up after seeing their uniform, they were able to play them pretty good.
Well, you know, Phil Knight out there just, with Nike, he pours all the money he can into that program, and they can afford to do that. And when you go back and look, when Chip Kelly was there, they kind of set the pattern for the new run option offense that we got out there now. But he's not been able to do it anywhere else. Tried it in the NFL, now he's at UCLA.
Exactly.
I don't think he's going to be able to do it. The point is about all that, though, the uniforms that on national TV is where they get their attention, all comes from the kids now. And
Oh, yeah.
From the coaching staff.
I got you. Will, tell me what your week's going to be like. Of course, the headliner is Mississippi State at Alabama. Mississippi State's got some good athletes. If they could develop a running attack in this game, they'd have a chance. But I don't know if they can. What do you think?
No, I don't think so, Mike. They don't have enough. They got enough to play a half, but they'll be kind of like Kentucky. They lost to Kentucky, if you remember. They're about like Kentucky.
Yeah.
They can play well for a while, but Alabama's just got too many people.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama in the third and fourth quarter run. They'll run. Live more out there. That's just as good as the first.
As good
they
as
can't do that.
as good as this Williams kid is, the defensive lineman, people were saying to me, said, "Who is 92? Who is 92?" Hey, they can't even keep up with him. You had 99 and 91 and 90.
Ask LSU if they know who 92 is.
Yeah, and the thing, you know the difference in it, and it all goes back to speed kills. These big linemen can run down running backs. They're fast. They're 4.6 guys.
Mike, that's a major difference in the Southeastern Conference, and that's where that is where it is. Mainly because a lot of people's got good defensive backs. A lot of people got good wide receivers. They have good quarterbacks everywhere. But that defensive front, and you can't have 2 or 3. You
Yeah.
can have about 6 or 8. They can rotate in and out. Alabama was rushing 3 the other night against LSU and dropping 8, and that was one of the reasons that LSU's passing game just could never get off track.
Okay, right now, Alabama's definitely on top, followed by Clemson, Notre Dame, and Michigan. But Michigan could easily be beat by number 10 ranked Ohio State when they play. Don't you think?
Yeah, that was going to wash out somebody. But just think about Ohio State, Mike. They lost to Purdue, a team that's 4-4 right now.
That's right.
They like to lost to Nebraska, who's 2-7 right now.
That is right.
They won by 5 in that one. They got some internal problems there. I don't know what that whole deal is. I mean, the defense is coming along good, but Harbaugh just can't, for whatever reason, he can't get over the. Since he's been there, he's never beaten Ohio State.
I know, you're right. He's got to beat them.
One of them's going to wash out. Both of them got one loss each, and somebody's going to wash out of that.
Yeah.
And, Georgia, we don't know if they're at number 5, I think, this morning, out of the poll.
Exactly.
Well, Georgia's going to have to play Alabama.
That's
I don't
right.
think Georgia can beat Alabama.
And Georgia, before they can go to the playoffs, going to have to beat Auburn, going to have to beat Alabama in the conference championship game. And Georgia Tech, yeah.
Run that inside option offense.
That's right.
And ain't nobody stopped yet.
And you're exactly right. They run the inside option, and how do they get so much leverage? I call it leverage, but I mean, how much push? Have you ever noticed how much push that line gets?
Yeah. Well, the angle block, Mike, they trap from the inside, and, they'll pull a guard one way, and when you look at that guard going the other way, the backside guard's going to kick you out.
Yeah.
That's why they run inside so many times.
And,
Keys, and where we learned that from Billy Atkins.
Yeah, that's right.
Billy the NFL. We did false keys and all that stuff. And
especially pulling guards. You know, they pull guard one way and run it back the other way. You know.
And Mike, we had what we call the sucker play. We catch a linebacker reading the guard. We just pull him and let the linebacker run out and run right behind him. Never even block him.
All right, everybody thinks Michigan's got a defense that can beat Alabama. I don't think so. I don't think they've seen anybody that can run like Alabama. Do you?
No, I you know, and we saw Najee Harris go down with a sprained ankle the other night, but they got 4 or 5.
Now Clemson,
all the time. Like number 24, the Robinson kid that came in the fourth quarter, he's number 5 on the depth chart. He's as good as any back in the SEC.
Yeah. I would take Alabama's defense and Clemson's defense over Michigan's any day of the week, and I haven't even seen Michigan play. I just know there's a difference in the type of athlete you're talking about at Alabama. You're talking about big, lean, and fast.
Yeah, very true. And of course, you know, they get Shea Patterson from Ole Miss, and he's done a good job. He's gotten better and better and better throwing the ball down the field. But there's something about the competition week in and week out in the Big Ten. It's not like the Southeastern Conference.
Notre Dame is Notre Dame for real right now. They're ranked 3rd in the college playoff rankings, and you know somebody's got to beat them. But they got a couple of.
Here's what I'm gonna say: they're gonna go 12-0, then they're gonna be 12-1. I do believe that.
I would think that they would pair Alabama and Notre Dame up first, don't you think?
Yeah, that would be a good matchup for Alabama. Notre Dame will go home.
A first and a third, and we don't know if Georgia. But see, Georgia's not going to beat Alabama, so they're out of it. Don't expect them to be there. Oklahoma thinks they should be there, but they gave up 49 points to Texas Tech last weekend.
Well, I know it, and they really stumbled against Army, then they lost to Texas.
I tell you what, if Oklahoma does play Alabama, Oklahoma better be prepared to score 50 points to win. What do you think?
Right. Well, the difference, Oklahoma's defense, you just hit on it. Oklahoma's offense is really good. I like Kyle Murray, but the fact is their defense is bad, awfully bad. It's not bad as Ole Miss, but they're pretty bad.
And I'm sort of surprised that LSU didn't drop any further than they did. What makes them think LSU? Just because let's see, they beat Georgia, I reckon that makes them.
Well, just go back, Mike. Remember, they beat Miami when they were number 7. They beat Auburn when they were number 8. They beat Georgia when they were number 2.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how good they were, but that was where they were ranked when they beat them.
Exactly. So, and let's say this. All right, Washington State, has got the great offense, but I don't know. LSU probably beat them. West Virginia, they don't have any defense. Ohio State would probably be better than LSU. Wouldn't you take Ohio State against LSU right now?
Yeah, and I think what we got to realize is this will be a national playoff, and that committee's going to be real aware of trying to pick teams that can compete.
Yeah.
But they got to be from different parts of the country.
But if I was a Central Florida guy, and I have won 24 straight games like they're probably going to do, I mean, this team could end up winning 30 games in a row on down the line,
Right, but they ain't played anybody.
I know it, but that's what everybody says. But they are undefeated, Max. Undefeated.
It doesn't matter. You live in.
They won. They won. At the end of the year, they would have won 24 straight games, or maybe more than that.
But Mike, if you don't play anybody,
I agree
it's like
there.
going to practice every day.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. If you don't play anybody at your level, if they want to get there, schedule, 4 or 5 games out of conference, and play Alabama and Georgia.
Right now, a lot of people think that the quarterback at UCF might be the best in the country. They have a great quarterback, and boy.
They're good. I mean, I don't think he's the best.
You know what this is gonna do, and I hate it because of exposure Troy gets in the. I think they're gonna have a big league and a minor league before it's all over with. Top 25.
I think what it's going to do is it's going to end up with 5 Power 5 conferences.
Because the reason I'm saying that because they're giving UCF Central Florida no respect. Right. And by not having any respect, why have 127 team field?
Well, I do think it'll eventually, but I've been hearing this for 25 years, Mike.
Yeah.
That may do, but not in our lifetime. Not in the lifetime that'll come back, because I think there's too much interest. And look, the controversy, the fact that you and I sitting here talking about it this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, Central Florida gets a big rush out of that, because you know what? There's a bunch of kids out there with the scholarship limitations that may end up going to Central Florida just because of that.
Exactly. You know, I was looking at Auburn moved up to 24 in that poll, and but right now you've got to look at Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and then Michigan, Georgia, Oklahoma, or Ohio State, I would say.
Right. Yeah. And it probably, if Ohio State beats Michigan and wins out, it'll be Ohio State at number 4, I believe.
Yeah, I would think that too.
I don't think with a one-loss Big Ten champion, I think they'll.
And that would look good. That would be a good-looking look. Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Ohio State.
I think it would.
Would you have your first team playing the third, or first team playing the fourth? Which would?
No, I think first and 4 and 2 and 3 play.
So they could, if the things stay the same, and Ohio State beats Michigan, and then vice versa, if Michigan beats Ohio State, they would be the fourth team. Wouldn't you think?
They'd be number 4. That's right.
And Notre Dame, if they can finish undefeated, Clemson and Alabama, those are 4 pretty good teams. Wouldn't you, or 5?
Oh yeah, I think Notre Dame is the only one. They got to travel soon.
Yeah.
They go to Southern Cal, and that's a cross country trip. You never know how that's going to work out. They're better than Southern Cal.
Yeah, no question.
I believe that.
Next, we're going to take a short break, and of course, it's brought to you by Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy, and also our good friends located at Piggly Wiggly, and they've got some great deals. Max, what if you at a grocery store today and you looked at the meat counter, and they've got T-bone steaks, $3.98 a pound?
Wow.
How many would you buy?
I want 10 pounds to put in my freezer.
And what I'd do, I'd go and cut the fillet off every one of them, and I'd serve the regular strip. The other part is the strip, and then the fillet and the strip.
There we go, man.
All right, okay. I cut all the fillets off. I like that bone in though, and serve them one night, and then serve the New York strips the next night.
Well, listen, I hadn't heard that kind of price in 15 years.
That's right. I told them. Exactly. They've got their family size T-bone steaks.
Yeah.
And listen, you can walk up there any day and say, cut me a couple of 4 about 1.5 inches thick. Yep,
that's the way I do it. That's the way I do it at my grocery store.
Exactly. And also, if you could find bacon, two 5-pound packages, or 2 for 5 pounds, 2 12-ounce packages for $5, that's pretty cheap too.
Hey, only in South Alabama, Mike.
That's right. Exactly right. We'll be right back with more of Today in L.A.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Napa Know-How. Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945. Know-How, Napa Know-How.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not a $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
Yeah, really nice.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Max Howell is one of the top sports analysts in the country. It takes his time every weekday to call us in, and or every Wednesday call in and talk sports with us. And we were talking about the championship series, and of course, a lot of things got to happen, and of course they will, and it'll end up being a pretty good situation. Of course, Max is calling from his hometown of Fulton, Mississippi. You live right there on the river, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. I watch the barges go up and down, Mike. It's a fun time for me.
Yeah, and of course he loves to cook, and somebody told me now, it was probably you that told me that you had to run a bunch more copies for Christmas. You gonna get those in time?
I hope they get in. Yeah, I've already put this. See, I'm working on number 3, Mike, my third cookbook right there. But it's 1,000 recipes in it. So
yeah.
I'm trying to hold off and wait till next spring to get that printed. So I've already submitted an order to try to get those cookbooks in by Christmas. They were shooting them we'll get there.
Yeah.
I hope we get them in.
You know, Max has lived all over the country. Of course, you lived in Atlanta a long time. You lived in the Pensacola area for a long time, and lived around Oxford, Mississippi, and different places, Birmingham. Max, every time I ask him, I said, "Where do you live? Or why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" You feel like you live in paradise over in Fulton, Mississippi, don't you?
I do, Mike. I really do. I got some really good friends.
And got a lot of friends that love to cook out and have fun. Isn't that right?
Every weekend we do it. I mean, I've got about 3 or 4 families I cook for, and it's just, look, I'm so blessed. It's just unbelievable. They're just like South Alabama people, Mike.
Exactly.
This is a rural county in Etowah County. It's right on the state line. I can't explain to you the atmosphere and the attitude here, but it's a very conservative community, and but everybody, I mean, they're all church-going folks, and if you ever need, look, when the lightning, we had a big storm come through night before last. I had 4 or 5 calls. Just called to check on me to see if I was okay, if I wanted to come to their house. And that's like at 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
You know, I just can't. My kids want me to go move with them. I got a son on the coast.
You know, if you'd come over and cook for me, I'd like you too. Hey, they don't want that to stop running. And of course, the thing about it, you know, you liable to cook steaks or fish or chicken. A squirrel, yeah, that's right. And then, you know, those dove hunters, you know, they'll eat those dove breasts, you know, wrapped in bacon. You ever done that much?
Oh yeah, listen, I make a chicken, what we call a chicken pot pie, but I make my squirrel and dove breast. I've done dove and I do squirrel. My buddy and I took a crew over to the Mississippi Delta 2 weeks ago. They killed 96 squirrels.
Oh man.
They were gone 2 days, and it was like 6 or 7 of them. They stayed within the limit. They cleaned them all and got them in the freezer. We're going to have a big, and what we do, we cut them up, and I cook them just like you do wings.
Yeah.
Deep fry them.
Yeah, exactly.
And we use them for hors d'oeuvres.
And of course, but now the dove suppers I go to has to have grits. You know, fried dove with grits and biscuits.
We'll have it depends on the way we fix them. Some I make them in. If I use dove, I use the breast thing. It's a chicken pot pie.
And dove hunting to some people is bigger than football. I mean, I had a guy tell me Friday night. I said, "Well, you going to the game?" He said, "No, I'll be in a dove field." You know.
I mean, look up here. Dove season opens the first day of college football, September 1st.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's when they open up, and I can't tell you. Most of our guys, though, they'll go to the game. They'll leave me there, and I got a big screen TV, and I can do the cook, watch the game on TV. When they come back, dinner's on the table.
And they're worse about duck hunting, aren't they? They're huge duck hunters, aren't they?
Yeah, but you know what? They don't. The Ducks don't come here much. They stop in Arkansas.
Yeah, well, they like that. Don't they like that Delta though? That Mississippi Delta.
I'm about 2.5 miles. I'm right on the river on the Tennessee Tombigbee, but the Mississippi River is where they go up and down the river.
All right. Well, what do you think the secret is to a good tender steak? You know, steaks are wonderful as long as I can eat them. You know, tender. I know bone in means a lot, doesn't it?
It does. Listen, Mike, it's the piece of meat that you get to start with. My theory is don't ruin the meat by cooking it too hard.
That's right.
If you cook it too long, you're going to dry it out.
And the more gristle, the better, wouldn't you say?
It is. Well, I like that marble in it.
Yeah, marble, yeah.
Ribeye. My favorite is the ribeye.
Exactly.
Because it's got a streak of marble in it.
And you like the bone in. It seems like the bone in is a lot more tender. Is that right?
Well, it depends on the cut, and it depends on the age of the cow. And there's a bunch of stuff in there that it depends on. But it all starts with a piece of meat. I don't care.
The quality of the meat. You're exactly right.
The greatest chefs in America can't cook a bad piece of meat and make it taste good. I'm telling you right now, they can do it.
Exactly right. You like yours medium rare or how do you like yours?
Medium rare, buddy. I'm a medium rare, and I will go rare on you in a heartbeat.
Now, you also, a couple of things, the guy told me that is that, what is it, a twice baked potato? How do you do that?
Oh, yeah. Well, you put them in there and you bake them up and you pull them out and you stir them up. You put your butter and your chives and everything. And then you put them
cheese if you want to in it.
Right. Yeah, just crust off the top's what you do.
Yeah.
I don't bake mine. The second time I put it in, I put it on broil and just kind of crust the top of it, pull it out. And of course, I've got the side orders to redo it. The more butter, more sour cream, more chives.
I agree.
You know what, my people up here, they like baked sweet potatoes better than they like potatoes.
Well, I like baked sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm not that big on sweet potato fries like some people are, but I like.
See, that's big up here, Mike. I mean, even McDonald's has sweet potato fries.
Okay.
Barnum, Mississippi is about 40 minutes from here. That's a sweet potato cap. They did 29 million pounds of sweet potatoes last year.
Oh gosh, that's unreal.
It's the biggest in America.
That's unreal.
They do sweet potatoes like people in the Delta do cotton.
Yeah, I like mine sprinkled with some cinnamon and a lot of butter.
Well, that's to me that disguises a taste. You got a good sweet potato, Mike. It's already sweet.
Yeah.
It's called a sweet potato.
Yeah, that's right. I got you. Max, Auburn's got a big one against Georgia. Do you give Auburn any chance against Georgia? I sort of feel like
you can't tell which Auburn team's going to play.
That's right.
They're so inconsistent. Winslow's still hurt. That's a big running back. Still got a bad shoulder, just like Johnson did last year. And without a running back, I don't see how they're going to move the football. Georgia's going to line up and come out to Stidham. I mean, they're going to bring 6 or 7 after him every time. And then on third and long, they're going to rush 3 and drop 8.
Yeah.
I just don't see how. I hope it's a good ball game. I know the athletic director came out yesterday and said Gus is going to be there. Well, all he was doing was echoing what the president said, because the president's the one that gave the contract to Gus.
Well, I tell you what, it's a prime time to watch a game. You can watch Troy at 11 o'clock Alabama time. You can watch Alabama at 2:30 and Auburn at 6. Another great football venue weekend.
All the state of Alabama. You're right. And that's what I'll be doing tomorrow.
Yeah. And, of course, now Troy and Georgia Southern, a huge game in the Sun Belt. Troy's got to find a way to stop the option, don't they?
You know what they're going to do at Georgia Southern.
They're going to try to – one thing, they're going to try to keep the ball away from Troy, don't you think?
Absolutely right. They're going to run that ball control offense.
3, 4, 5 yards. And if you have patience, it'll work. Yeah. If you don't have patience, it won't work.
You're absolutely right. And like I say, they played extremely well when I saw them against Appalachian State. They beat Appalachian State.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back running that inside trap and just misdirection stuff. So Troy's got to score first. They got to score early and often. So that they can ball control and keep the ball out of the offensive.
And again, that offensive line push, how do you stop it? The way they come out.
They're going to angle block you. I tell you the best.
They're going to chop block you a lot. They do a lot of illegal stuff. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, they do. They cut, chop block you. They do a lot of other things.
And back in the old days of the old Alabama team, that's the first thing you did. You dove at their ankles, didn't you?
Absolutely right. That's the way you taught it.
I mean, Bud High, it was an old-fashioned goal line. The offensive line would line up old-fashioned goal line with a button there, and they would block down on you.
When Ert Russell started that program down there, he was a great defensive coach at Georgia. He comes down to be the head football coach.
Oh, yeah.
He's been in a couple of years. I was in Florida.
He might have been one of the great coaches of all time.
Yeah, he was. We were number one in the nation, and they bring that. We had Georgia Southern for homecoming. Well, Mike, they had us 10-0 at halftime. I thought we was going to lose the ball game because we've not had time to work on.
That's right.
The cross blocks and all the stuff that they did. We ended up beating 24-10, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was a battle to the fourth quarter. And I just use that as an example that you don't see that offense very often. It puts a lot of pressure on your defense because you don't have time to prepare for it.
No question about it. Any other big games that you want to take a look at this week?
Yeah, well, of course, I stay in the SEC. I think, one is going really, it's not going to have a lot of interest. I'm interested in it because of the Vanderbilt goes to Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri goes in there and beats Florida last week.
That's right. I think they'll beat Vanderbilt, too.
They should if they play well. But you know what? They just liable to lay on the ground.
Yeah, that's right. You don't know which one will show up.
That's right.
Buddy, they got a right tackle. I don't see I stayed in the game. I showed a film of it on Facebook where he just turned around with his fist and just. I know he probably almost broke his hand, but he just knocked our guy down like he was a boxer, Yeah.
Well, I just say, they do. I really think Vanderbilt could have beaten Florida. But you remember that's when Derek Mason runs across there up 21-3.
Yeah, I remember that.
And here comes Mason across, and all that did was wake Florida up.
Yeah, no question.
They should have won that ball game going into the fourth quarter. They were ahead and controlling the game, but all of a sudden Florida wakes up and scores 30 and wins that ball game.
All right, I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to laugh at me. I know you're going to laugh at me. But Boston College is going to play Clemson pretty tough. Boston College has gotten better.
Well, they have gotten better, but I'm going to tell you, Clemson have a game every year, Mike, that they barely win.
Yeah.
And they have been known. 2 years ago, they almost lost to NC State.
Yeah, Troy gave them trouble a couple of years ago, too.
Yeah, they did. I mean, look, that's another program that Dabo's done a great job with that Clemson program. They recruited well, they coach and they play well most of the time. But you don't tell me that there wasn't something else going on between Kelly Bryant and Dabo Swinney when he made the choice to bring Trevor Lawrence in. Now, Lawrence is a good quarterback, but he's a freshman, and he's done well there, but he's got a lot of talent around him also. I really think it's going to be Clemson and Alabama to play for the national championship.
Well, we got a couple of other games that are interesting. One of them is Ohio State playing at Michigan State. This would make Michigan State's year. It's 11 o'clock kickoff. It could. We might. A lot of times the schedule ends up taking care of who's going to be the Final Four. Ohio State could lose in this game. They could lose against Michigan, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but see, we don't know what Ohio State's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been so inconsistent. They barely beat Nebraska this past weekend. They lost to Purdue. Ohio State ought to be undefeated. They ought to be right there with Alabama and Clemson.
Exactly.
But they aren't.
Remember I said this. Tennessee's going to upset Kentucky. Kentucky playing at Tennessee.
Yeah, I heard that on another show this morning early. Look, Jeremy Pruitt's the right guy for that program. I think he inherited nothing up there, but he's coached them up pretty well. If he can get 6 wins, he ought to get Coach of the Year at Tennessee.
No question about it. Of course, there's not a lot of real big games, but I think the Alabama, Mississippi State, and Auburn, Georgia games are definitely big-time games to take a look at this week, and you watch them all right here on Channel 2. Max, as always, my friend, what's for dinner?
Man, let me tell you something. I did butterfly pork chops last weekend, Mike. I'm talking about the thick ones.
Oh, yeah, big. I love a good, it's nothing any better than a good thick pork chop.
But here's the thing you have to be careful about cooking pork. It'll dry out on you in a heartbeat. You can't run that heat up really high. You can sear them up.
But you don't want to eat them rare either.
No, that is very true. But you sear them on the outside and turn your heat back down.
Yeah.
Here's the way I keep from doing that. I marinate mine in an Italian dressing, which has got the spices and oil in it.
Yeah, I got
every
you.
time I turn them, I baste them. That
Yeah.
way it keeps the outside moist and that moisture seeps through. But the butterfly pork chops, I did a macaroni salad this past week. I mean, it was about as good as you could have. And I also always do a green salad for those people that don't like too many carbs.
Exactly.
And we had that. We had garlic bread, big old pitcher of sweet iced tea. And I can't go 3 weeks without 1 or 2 desserts. I'm going to do either banana pudding or I'm going to do Mississippi mud pie, which is all chocolate.
That sounds good, my friend. Have a good one, and we'll be looking forward to talking to you next week, my friend.
All right, Mike, have a good trip.
Max Howell, thank you so much.
All right, buddy.
Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi. And ladies and gentlemen, he's on more talk shows than probably anybody around. He gives us we have had him on as long as an hour. Hey, he's like me, just likes to talk and enjoy talking sports right here on Channel 2. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back to more of Pike County Bank's picks of the week right here.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not a $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
Back to our show, brought to you by Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy. And, of course, all my good friends over there, I just recently bought a Ford vehicle from Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy, and pick up one of these hats, and I know you're going to have a good time with that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Auburn Tigers, War Eagle, the Auburn Tigers preparing to do battle with their arch rival, the Georgia Bulldogs, in the oldest rivalry in the South. It's Auburn against Georgia from Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. And the Tigers are going to come in with white jerseys and white pants and white helmets. The Georgia Bulldogs are in their traditional red jerseys with gray trousers and red helmets. The Aubie's going to be there, and the Tigers are going to be there. My opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I am predicting a upset. Auburn to beat Georgia this Saturday from Sanford Stadium in Athens. That's my big prediction. And Auburn is going to be good down the stretch when they play Alabama too. But I'm not calling for a win there. But I think Auburn, if their front can stop Georgia's run attack, and then they go 50-50 with them in the secondary, I think they got a chance. If they can find some kind of running attack to go with Stidham's passing, I'm thinking that some things might happen there. So we'll be watching it closely. Looking at high school games this week, and there's a bunch of them out there. Let's take a look locally in Class 2A. New Brockton's at Leroy. Daleville's at Reeltown. Reeltown's 8-2. South Choctaw 7-3 at Luverne 9-1. That's a good local game. Vincent playing 3-7, playing at Abbeville 9-1. Abbeville should cruise there. Lafayette at Geneva County of Hartford. Hartford 6-4. Chickasaw at Highland Home. Can you believe Highland Home went 9-1? That's got to be one of the great Highland Home teams of all time. Goshen at Cottage Hill. Cottage Hill is 9-1. They are out of Mobile. Arrington, one of my favorite teams, at Thorsby, 9-1. Hopefully those coaches will be in here tonight from Goshen and from Arrington and from Charles Henderson and Pike Liberal. Want to mention a couple of other 2A games to think about. Again, as we mentioned Arrington at Thorsby a long ways. Goshen's got to go a long ways to play Cottage Hill. And those are some of the local games in Class 2A. In Class 1A, the Brantley Bulldogs. Brantley is, well, I'm looking for Brantley. Okay, Florella is in the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Whoever's coaching them deserves an award. Sweetwater's at Maplesville. Maplesville 9-1. And Florella's playing at Lynette. Lynette's loaded. Notasulga at 9-1 Georgiana. Billingsley at 7-2 Elba. Brantley at Wadley. Brantley is 7-3 and Wadley is 7 and let's see. There it is right there. Wadley 7-2, always good. You got to want to go to Wadley. Let me just tell you that right now. You got to go up through several small towns. Of course, that's where Wadley, Alabama's located, where Southern Union Junior College is. You go through Ellick City to go to Wadley. And after that, I couldn't tell you. I hate to say that. Looking at, again, at Class 1A, some other games that, of course, can you believe Elba's 1A, Georgiana's 1A, and that's a good league, no question. In Class 3A, Pike County High School of Brundage, 8-2, plays host to Oakman, 5-5. They're located above Birmingham. There'll be a big crowd coming down for that one. And looking at some other ones, T.R. Miller playing at St. James. Those are two pretty good 3A teams. St. James is 9-1. Just taking a look at a few of them, of those games out there. Headland was undefeated until last week. They lost a heartbreaker to big rival Abbeville. They play host to Talladega 5-5. Andalusia plays at Montevallo. Montevallo's 9-1. Alabama Christian 3-7, playing at Lincoln 7-3, and Sipsey Valley playing at a very good Hillcrest of Evergreen team 6-4. So that'll give you that. Charles Henderson is at Ramsey in 5A. Pleasant Grove playing 8-2, playing at Beauregard 5-4. Valley 5-5, playing at Briarwood of Birmingham 8-2. So they've got to go to Birmingham. Let's go to our phones here. Good morning, you on Today in LA. How you doing?
Hi, I was just calling back.
I'm going to learn how to do that thing one day. I'm going to learn how to do it. It's going to be simple.
You've only been doing it for 21 years.
I know it, and I apologize. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. Mike.
Is that phone 21 years old?
Huh?
Is that phone 21 years old, maybe?
Maybe so.
We got some.
Maybe they will buy us a new phone and make it real simple. You know, it's probably real simple now, and I don't know it.
You got games in the Maxon tonight. You got Miami, Ohio against Ohio. That game will be on ESPNU, and then you got Northern Illinois against Toledo on the ESPN2 tonight. So you got two MAC games to watch.
Okay, we'll be watching it. Other games this week, Mike. Of course, Auburn, Georgia, Alabama.
I'm interested, what did Max Hall say about Mississippi State? Does he think they'll give Alabama a game?
No, he didn't. He just didn't think they had all enough players to do it.
Yeah.
Depth-wise, I reckon what he's looking at. There is can you name all the defensive linemen at Alabama? Name them to me.
Yeah, Rakeem Davis, Quentin Williams, Isaiah Buggs.
All of them are right at 300 pounds, aren't they?
Yeah, Buggs, Quentin Williams, and Rakeem Davis are all over 300 pounds.
And how many are there, though? More than 4, isn't it?
Well, you got Christian Miller's defensive end, outside linebacker. You got LeBron Ray. And then, the star player, the first of the year, is still out. The great defensive end, the Lewis kid.
Yeah, he's
not a lot of people think, if they could get him back, by the Auburn game, that could be huge for the playoff run.
Yeah.
But Alabama doesn't rotate near as much as they have in the past.
Yeah, who are their linebackers?
Well, they've got two of the best linebackers in the country. They got Dylan Moses and Mack Wilson.
All right, now Wilson's the kid from Carver, isn't he?
That's right.
Did you see that the footage on Facebook?
Wilson had there was two great linebackers out of Carver. There's Sean Dion Hamilton and Mack Wilson.
And Hamilton went early, didn't he?
He didn't go early. He had that knee injury, so he went in the 5th round. But he plays a lot for the Washington Redskins right now.
Yeah, he's a great player.
The Washington Redskins for Alabama have they got Allen, the great defensive tackle from Alabama. They got Anderson, the defensive end from Alabama, Ryan Anderson. They got Deron Payne, the great defensive tackle from Alabama last year, and they got Sean Dion Hamilton, all on defense for the Redskins.
Oh, boy. Want to mention Dixieland Dental today, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. And, of course, Mike, tell us about Grady's new bank.
Grady Caps is about to open up Cahaba Bank.
First Cahaba Bank is opening up tomorrow with their new location, brand new location, a brand new facility located off Publix Parkway, Mike.
Yeah, I would imagine through the next few years that area out there.
It is right there.
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, no question. And First Cahaba brings a wealth of knowledge in lending. Grady Caps has been in the banking business forever, and an old friend of ours from downtown Union Springs, Alabama, originally, now living in Troy. Been in the banking business here with this great bank, Cahaba Bank, for last 3 or 4 years. So we'll be looking forward to seeing him and the grand opening. Well, not the grand opening, but they open their new doors tomorrow around 9 o'clock. And,
it's going to be interesting. Back to Troy basketball, they opened the season last night against Fort Valley State. They will go and play at St. Louis. St. Louis has a really great basketball program, traditionally really good. So they'll be at St. Louis playing on Saturday, and then they'll turn around and I guess travel to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to play Pittsburgh. So you're talking about 2 really tough opponents back to back.
And then back here on Thursday against Southern
Miss. But Pittsburgh's out of the ACC. Jamie Dixon did a great job, and then when Rick Majerus left Utah, he went to St. Louis and had great teams at St. Louis. So St. Louis is really good too. So this schedule is going to be extremely tough this year.
Let me say,
what do you think about this? Troy, will rekindle an old rivalry on November 24th. A lot of fans will be excited to see that Troy will be playing at home against North Alabama. North Alabama is now Division I in every.
Oh boy, yeah, okay, they're Division I now. Is that right?
Yeah, they played Sanford last night in basketball, and Sanford beat them by 20.
Did they? Of course, Sanford.
That's just good to see North Alabama and Troy playing each other.
Yeah, I think so, no question. And then, of course, they're 1 Double-A in
football,
so they don't play in that league in football or not. Mike, I was wanting to mention a few other things going on here. Of course, with athletics, and I mentioned something on Facebook this week that Troy's got everything. All the riches are in their hands. I mean, it's up to them. If they win out, they win. They go all the way to the New Orleans Bowl and play for as the Sun Belt Conference champion.
Yeah, I mentioned, early in the season, I predicted Troy to go 8-4, and it looks like that's definitely probably going to, maybe do a little bit better than that. But if they win 8-4, I wouldn't have an issue with that either. I predicted early in the season they would lose to Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. But of course, I didn't realize how good Caleb Barker was going to be until he got hurt. But maybe Sawyer Smith has got enough confidence.
All right, now tell everybody what all Sawyer Smith did this past week.
He went 18 for 21 for 317 yards, which are
18 for 21 for 317 yards. He throws the deep pass very well, don't you think?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But Troy's going to have to find another guy on offense to step up. They really need to get Douglas back.
Well, if they got Douglas back, and let me tell you this, he's the guy that's going to play on Sunday, no question about it. He's a great player. And then on the other side, Mike is maybe one of the better ends in the whole country.
Yeah, DeAndre Douglas.
Not Douglas, but the other kid.
Oh my goodness. We talk about him all the time. I'm drawing a blank on his name for some crazy reason right now.
Who is so good for Troy, the wide receiver.
Damian Willis.
Damian Willis. All right, those are two premium receivers. Both of them actually.
Got to help DJ Smith out. He's getting worn down. Fry. Needs to step up and make some bigger plays.
Do we have another back other than those two?
We got the D.K. Billings, the kid out of Scottsboro that played like mop-up duty a few times, but that's about it.
Who are our wide receivers? 13 is pretty effective.
Ebert is a good player.
Number 6 is a pretty good player.
Sidney Davis is a good player. Our receivers aren't bad.
I don't think we have as many receivers as we used to, though, do we?
Yeah, we had, the kid from Louisville that, got, left the program and got suspended and then left, and he's taking a red shirt. So he'll transfer out somewhere, and then, he had Henderson that got suspended, and then, Sam Linton, the tight end.
Yeah, he hasn't played, has he?
Got suspended. And
He got suspended?
Yeah, he got suspended, and now they're saying he's going to be redshirted. So,
well, good.
A guy named Richard Hallman has been playing tight end for Troy this year, number 10.
Well, that's good if they're able to do that. I want to mention in basketball, and of course we've got another big game coming up, especially Thursday against Southern Miss, next Thursday, not this Thursday. But Mike, something I was reading that I caught at a meeting the other night when our basketball team was hosted by Troy Bank and Trust Company. They really believe that Troy's two big men are as good as any two big men within the top 10. They're top 10 duo in the country. They think their two big men are a top 10 trio in the country.
You're talking about Hicks and Bernardo?
Yeah, Hicks and Bernardo. They think.
Yeah, Bernardo only scored 7 points last night.
I know he shot a lot. He didn't shoot well. He missed several long jump shots, and I could tell he was a little bit discouraged. I saw his brother at the game. Boy, he looks like he can still play.
Yeah, well, shoot, he's probably only around 30 years old. He probably does still play over in Europe.
And of course, but when the time comes, I'm sure he'll come around and play very well. But
he'll play good against the bigger teams. They didn't need him last night.
Well, to say that about him, that's quite a compliment. When you say,
well, he's on like a lot of small college, non-Power 5 All-American teams.
And of course, and then
how did the kid that transferred in from Shelton State out of Tuscaloosa, the Norman kid, how did he look last night?
He played some. He scored. I don't think he scored much. He didn't play a real lot, but.
Troy's got, it looks like a lot of depth this year, which is a good thing.
They've got more depth than they've had in a while. They got a couple of big men. I think they had one big man that was sitting out for some reason.
Yeah, they got a kid that transferred in from, Middle Tennessee State, which has become a great basketball.
He won't be eligible till after Christmas, or what?
No, he's got to sit out the whole year. He's 6'10", transfer.
Oh man!
Out of Columbus, Georgia, so he'll have a couple more years to play once he sits out this year.
No question about it. Want to mention that the big Harvest Festival at the Troy Elementary is this weekend, this Thursday. Wonderful. Starts around 4:30. They got spaghetti. They got all kinds of things, a lot of fun things for kids to do. So if you're a grandparent or a parent, make sure you take your kids to the big fall festival at Troy Elementary School. And Mike, it's a good experience just to go see that school. It's one of the largest elementary schools, I believe, in the state of Alabama, Mike.
Yeah, you could probably get a lot of exercise just walking the halls up there.
Yeah, I was joking with the principal one day. I said, I'm sure you get from walking from one end to the other end. I think if you did it twice, it'd be a half a mile or something like that. So it's a pretty good walk, no question about it. Hope you've enjoyed our show today, Mike.
Next week I'll look to the weather, man. It's going to be in the 20s.
Whoa, man, freezing cold next week. So get ready for our big winter, and the holiday season is just around the corner too. Hope that you've enjoyed our show today.
We'll be doing the Bill Jackson picks of the week tomorrow.
Yeah, picks of the week tomorrow, and the Bill Jackson, and then the Pike County Forge picks of the week on Friday. So we're looking forward to it. And then I'm taking a drive to Statesboro, Georgia, for the big game. Have a great week.
It's a lot of fun. Bye.
See you tomorrow, bright and early, today in L.A.